Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Weekly Reads. My name is Devon. I work at the Worcester Public Library. And of course, my co-host Joy is here with me. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Devon. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. As usual, Joy and I have a great selection of books picked out for you this week. Don't forget that everything we're talking about you can get on your app, on your iPhone, smartphone, device. You can also get it through your browser on your laptop and desktop. And if you're not sure how to access the materials for free, just call the library and we can help you out. So right now I'm going to switch screens so you can see the lineup that we have for this week. Okay, so this is what we have in store, and as usual, I'll focus on the fiction, Joy will do the nonfiction, and we have our coming soon title. So my first choice is Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. This book came out in 2017 and was listed as one of the 10 best books of the year by the New York Times Book Review. It was also a finalist for the Booker Prize. In the book, in a country teetering on the brink of war, two people meet, fiercely independent Nadia and gentle Saeed. They begin a love affair and are soon put in a premature intimacy by the unrest in their city. When streets become a patchwork of checkpoints and bomb blasts, they begin to hear about doors that can whisk people away, for a price. As the violence escalates, Nadia and Saeed decide they must leave their homeland and old lives behind. They find a door and step through, trying to find a place they can live safely with a basic, steady quality of life. And with each door they go through, their relationship is strengthened and tested by their struggle to find food, shelter, and a sense of belonging. The New York Times said, in crystalline prose, Hamid conveys the experience of living in a city under siege with stabbing immediacy. He shows how quickly ordinary life, its rituals and routines, can change into the defensive crouch of life in a war zone. This book is included on the Worcester Public Library's list of 160 books we love, so you know it's a good choice. I think this book is very timely for the world right now, and also I really love magical realism, so this sounds like a great one. And here's Joy's first book.
Yeah, I have read Hamid's book and it is haunting. No wonder it's on the 160 books we love list.
It does sound great.
Well, my first choice for this week is The Silk Roads, A New History of the World by Peter Frankopan, Professor of Global Studies at Oxford University. Since it was first published in 2015, The Silk Roads has sold over 1 million copies worldwide and been translated into numerous languages, making it, in the words of one reviewer, a true global bestseller. Not bad for a book that is well over 500 pages long and covers a time period of well over 2,000 years. The Silk Roads were a network of arteries linking Europe to Asia and carrying, in the words of one reviewer, the lifeblood of commerce from Constantinople to China by way of Persia, now Iran, Mesopotamia, now Iraq, and the Stans, Afghanistan, etc. Frankopan's purpose is to challenge the notion that Europe and later North America are, and have always been, at the center of the world. He maintains that for most of human history, Western Europe was peripheral, a backwater. And for material wealth, power, and inspiration, ambitious people looked east. The bustling cities along the Silk Road bore names like Samarra and Samarkand and Merv, and they drew traders buying and selling an array of goods, among them silk from China, of course, but also spices like pepper and cardamom, fruit like pears and rhubarb, livestock from the steppes, and thousands of slaves, many taken from among the Slavic peoples, hence the word slaves. Ideas and religions met along the Silk Road too. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism were all founded in Asia and mingled, happily or not, along the Silk Roads. All of this made for a stimulating, diverse cultural stew. Unfortunately, the roads played a host to a host of less welcome travelers as well. Among them, Genghis Khan, the Crusaders, the bubonic plague, and a variety of colonizers, to name but a few. Still, times of unrest were punctuated by periods of peace, as the region's various peoples, all of whom had something at stake, sought to live harmoniously. It was not until the 15th century when Columbus, looking as we all know for an alternative route to the east, stumbled upon the vast riches of the New World, and disastrously enough for native populations, the world's commercial and intellectual center of gravity shifted west. This state of affairs lasted for over 300 years. Along came oil, and we find ourselves in flux once again. There is no way that I can do more than hint at all the treasures contained in the pages of this book. Each chapter is full of fascinating and, to me, often surprising detail. Even if you cannot bring yourself to commit to reading a 500-page tome, pick it up, read a chapter or two, and you may find yourself following the Silk Roads.
It's pretty impressive he fit so much information in just 500 pages.
He chose his details so carefully.
Sounds it. Okay, for my next book, I have a romance title, Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This book came out in November of 2019, and it was named a Best Romance for the Year by Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, and Amazon. It is book 1 of 2 in the Brown Sisters series. I believe there's going to be 3 books eventually, but right now just the 2, and this is the first. Chloe Brown is a geek with a plan. After almost dying, she comes up with a list of 7 things that will help her get a life. These things include enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, and do something bad. But being bad isn't easy, even when you have guidelines for it. When she decides she needs a teacher, she knows the man for the job. Redford Red Morgan has tattoos, a motorcycle, and more sex appeal than 10,000 heartthrobs. He's also an artist who hides his work during the day, which she knows because she spies on him, just a teeny bit. But when he joins her mission, she learns things that no spying could teach her. The co-worker who recommended this one said the book features characters from diverse backgrounds. They're both dealing with their own issues, but the relationship helps them begin to heal, and there's plenty of humor, which is always a plus. Booklist gave this a starred review. They said, "This interracial romance with a disabled heroine is an own voices treat for readers who love a cinnamon roll hero and love scenes that scorch the pages." So if you don't know what a cinnamon roll hero is.
And I don't.
I didn't. I had to look it up. A cinnamon roll hero is someone who is sweet, supportive, and kind. So apparently, even though Red appears to be a bad boy, he's also very sweet and supportive.
Always good.
Absolutely. And here's one of Joy's.
Well, I guess that the unofficial theme for my selections this week might as well be roads. My second choice, The Vagabonds, the story of Henry Ford and Thomas Edison's 10-year road trip by Jeff Dunn, focuses on the adventures of 2 of America's greatest inventors, who, along with their sometime companion, Harvey Firestone of Firestone Tires fame, toured the country on a series of annual pilgrimages between 1914 and 1924. At the time they began, roads were terrible, breakdowns inevitable, posted speed limits and road signs rare, and the now ubiquitous motel had not yet been invented. Arguably, Edison and Ford did more to transform the lives of ordinary Americans than anyone else before or since, bringing affordable and reliable transportation, electric light, and recorded music to the masses. Therefore, the reader might be forgiven for thinking that these brilliant individuals might have embraced the road less traveled. Not so much. By and large, they played it safe, staying in places like Traverse City, Michigan, eating lavish meals, retiring to the nearest hotel at the slightest inconvenience, and traveling with an entourage. They were never far from a photo op, a small town journalist, or adoring fans bearing flowers. In short, they were celebrities. On one memorable occasion, they hosted Warren G. Harding, widely held to be our nation's least intelligent and most corrupt president, for a weekend of long naps, interminable church services, staged athletic contests, and some of the most inane conversation ever recorded. But if the trips may disappoint the reader, the book itself will not. Gwynne, whose previous books profile Bonnie and Clyde and Charles Manson, among others, puts Edison and Ford under a microscope, and the picture that emerges is both entertaining and troubling, particularly in the case of Ford, a vicious anti-Semite turned working-class hero who, had things played out differently, might have become president. By the time Edison and Ford ended their journeys, amenities abounded along our nation's Silk Roads, and the American romance with the open road was well underway.
Well, I love road trips, even if it's just reading about them.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
Yeah, me too. So next is our coming soon title, and I chose The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. If you don't know that name, she is a local Massachusetts author, born and raised, and she's given a couple talks at our library here in Worcester. So this particular book is going to be coming out on June 2nd, which is a Tuesday. It is the first book in the Rooks and Ruin series. This is a new series. If you liked her Swords and Fire series, this will be a new series for you. Deep within Glomingard Castle is a black tower, sealed by magic. It guards a dangerous secret that has been contained for thousands of years. As warden, Rixander knows the warnings passed down through generations, but a decision leaves her with blood on her hands and unleashes a threat that could doom the world. Author Emily Duncan said the book is populated by a vibrant cast of characters and an intricate setting that's practically a character itself. The Obsidian Tower balances two of her favorite things, razor-sharp politics and characters investigating weird, dark magic. It's a must-read for all fantasy fans. So I'm super excited that this one is not on Overdrive or Libby yet because it hasn't been released, but keep an eye out because I'm sure that we'll get it eventually. And that wraps up our edition of Weekly Reads. Don't forget, if there's a topic or genre that you'd like a recommendation for, just put it in the comments below and Joy and I will see what we can do. But otherwise, thanks for watching and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
See you later, fellow readers.